So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. So guys, I wanted to talk about a fight that you guys wanted me to talk about and said that, Imran, why don't you ever talk about Canelo and Benavidez? And the reason, guys, I haven't spoke about Canelo and David Benavidez is because David Benavidez is out the picture. And what I mean by that, although he's a big threat in the 168-pound division, and a lot of people rate him very highly in the 168-pound division, David Benavidez is not a champion right now. David Benavidez is a guy he's basically in the who needs me club. And what I mean by that is that he's a risk, but he doesn't have anything for Canelo in terms of belt. Now, Caleb Plant is the IBF champion. Now, Benavidez called Caleb Plant out for a fight. And Caleb Plant, why would Caleb Plant want to fight David Benavidez? What's he going to gain out of that fight? When he's got a potential fight with Canelo Alvarez, and he knows that Canelo Alvarez is going to fight him. So why is Caleb Plant going to fight David Benavidez when, again, it's a risky fight. It's a fight that Caleb Plant can lose. Actually, most people would pick Benavidez to beat Caleb Plant. Why would you fight a guy for potentially $1 million or $2 million when you can fight Canelo Alvarez for $10 million? You know, no one's going to do that. From a business point of view, no one's going to be that stupid to do something like that. So, and then, you know, it's a risky fight as well that you can lose. It's not like it's a gimme fight. So the way I see it is that I think David Benavidez has got himself to blame. David Benavidez was a WBC super middleweight champion and a very dangerous fighter, very dangerous fighter. And if he held that belt, there was no way Canelo Alvarez, he would have had to fight David Benavidez. So David Benavidez said, oh, well, I was champion, Canelo was avoiding me and stuff like that. Well, if you had stayed champion and you hadn't lost your belt at the weigh-in, ill-disciplined, right? That's what you have to say. You have to call it how it is. It was ill-disciplined in the sense that he didn't make weight. And he's got himself to blame, because if he was champion, Canelo would have had to fight him to become undisputed, right? And he would have put himself in a great position for that fight. Now, you can't, if Canelo's fighting all the champions, you can't say he's ducking David Benavidez because he's fighting all the champions at 168. Now, if Canelo then decides to go and fight Beterbiev at 175, you still can't say he's ducking, because now he's gone on and fought a more tougher fight than Benavidez in Beterbiev. So, or Bivol, who are champions at 175. So Benavidez is in a situation now where Canelo has one belt away from being an undisputed super middleweight champion, right? Plant, he's probably going to get the fight next. Then at the end of the day, he's up to him whether he wants to fight Andrade, Charlo, or Benavidez. Not all of these guys are going to get the Canelo fight. Not all of these guys are going to be able to get it, because there's no way Canelo can fight all of these guys, unless Canelo maybe might do. He's around. Canelo said he wants to be around for another 7-8 years, so maybe all of these guys will get their shot. Who knows? They just got to be patient. But in the meantime, what they should be doing is should be fighting each other. Benavidez should be calling out Andrade, should be calling out Charlo. Benavidez should be calling out Golovkin. Like, this is the issue right now, where a lot of these guys are looking for a Canelo fight, and Canelo, he can't fight all of them. It's going to take him a while to get Saunders was saying Canelo was avoiding him for so long, and now he finally fought Saunders. What I'm trying to say to you, you can't just keep waiting for Canelo. You need to cancel each other out by fighting each other. The problem is the 160 and 168 pound division. Apart from Canelo fighting them, they're not fighting each other. They're fighting lower tier opponents like Benavidez for Ronald Ellis. But we're not hearing. Although Benavidez, one thing I will say about Benavidez wants to fight the best. He's not holding a belt and waiting for. Thing is, again, he's not holding a belt. So that's why he's calling all the other champions out, because he's not holding a belt. I don't know what it would have been like if he was holding a belt. Maybe he'd be doing exactly the same thing rather than risking it against a champion. But Benavidez does strike me as somebody that is ambitious and doesn't just want to fight Canelo. He wants to fight the other best. It's not just about fighting Canelo for him. Whereas I feel like for Andrade and guys like that, they just want to jump their way into a big fight rather than having those other tough fights. Like, why isn't Andrade calling out Benavidez? Why isn't Andre even calling out? Like, I don't see that same energy that he puts into wanting a Canelo fight than these other big fights, because it's not as big a payday. And it's a risky fight as well. So for me, Benavidez, right, he's a good fighter. I don't personally think he's good enough to beat Canelo, and that's no shame. Like, I might be wrong, but that's just my opinion. Watching Benavidez, I think defensively he needs to work at his game. I think he gets caught a lot. I think he's got a great style, and he's tough, and he looks big. He's obviously a big guy, tough, and he throws combination punches. He's fast. I just think he's too open for someone like Canelo, and I think Canelo probably nails him with something. But I do like Benavidez. I think Benavidez is a hard worker, and he's working at his game. And I think that what he did with not making weight, I think now you're going to see a more disciplined and a better David Benavidez. I think all those things are behind him, and I think he wants to prove, and that's why he's calling all these other guys out, because he's thinking, you know what? I want to create my own legacy. I want to be great. I don't want to just have the Canelo fight. And he even said, I want to earn my shot at Canelo. And what he means by that is he could get a Canelo fight as of right now. But what he's saying is, I want to put myself in a position where the public is demanding for that fight. Where I've beaten some top tier guys and now the public starts demanding for it. The problem is with all these other guys, I don't think they have the same mindset. I think they're all just looking for a Canelo fight. Now, Jamal Charlo has recently said that he's willing to fight Golovkin, but we know Golovkin's waiting for Murata. So why don't Jamal Charlo and Andrade sort something out? But now we know that Jamal Charlo's fighting Montiel. But why not fight Andrade? I don't understand. I don't understand. This is what I'm trying to say, that none of these guys seem to be mixing it with one another. But Benavidez does come across a guy that wants to fight. Like, he wants to fight Plant. But there's no reason for Plant to fight Benavidez. Because what does Plant get out of it? Nothing. He's going to fight, what, for 2-3 million, whatever, at most. And it's a tough fight. A fight he could lose when he can just wait for Canelo, where he could get 10 million plus. Right? Because that's what Plant knows, right? That Canelo wants to be undisputed. He knows that Canelo really wants to be undisputed champion. So he can wait for Canelo, and he can then ask for serious money. He can ask for, you know what, okay, you want to be undisputed, I want to be paid what I'm worth. So from that, we know that Saunders got $8 million for that fight. So Plant might ask for 12 million, because now that's a bigger fight and it's for the undisputed. So that way, Plant will be getting a crazy amount. Like, I heard Danny Jacobs got about 15 million or like 12, 13 million, something like that. So I think he got a lot more than what even Saunders got. I know he got 8 figures, Danny Jacobs. I'm pretty certain he did. It was well over 10 million. So for this undisputed fight, Plant might have a case for wanting 12, 13 million for the fight, especially the fact the fight's for undisputed. He may even get his wish. He may even get that. So if you're Plant, you hold out, and then you're fighting the best pound for pound fighter in the world. You're going to get paid an absolute bomb, which is going to secure you for life. If I was Plant, I would hold on to that belt as well and wait for, and I would look to make that Canelo fight 100% if I was Plant. Because the money's so big and so great. And like I said, Canelo wants to be undisputed. Do you see where I'm coming from here? So Plant knows that. Plant knows that Canelo wants to be undisputed. So for me personally, I think Plant's in a great position, where someone like Benavidez, if he was more disciplined, he would have been able to get that big fight. The problem is now Benavidez is in the Who Needs Me club. And that's the truth, unfortunately, because of his... I don't know what Benavidez is going to do. Benavidez, I don't think anyone's going to be queuing to fight him anytime soon. So I think Benavidez might have to... I don't know how he's going to get a big fight. He may even have to move up to 175, if I'm honest with you. Because like I said to you, that if Canelo becomes undisputed, then it's going to be out of Benavidez, Charlo. And listen, I think if he was to beat Plant, Virgil Hunter mentioned this as well, that the public, and if he beats Plant in emphatic fashion, the public is then going to start demanding for some serious fights. Because if he beats Plant with ease, like he did with Saunders, those aren't considered fights. Like, you know, beating Saunders the way he did and beating Callum Smith, it's, you know, the public start getting bored because you become so dominant. The public want to see you in a fight where you're matched, you're challenged. Whereas right now, these are the way the fights are going, he's winning quite comfortably. So if Benavidez fights him and he beats Benavidez, all of a sudden now the public are going to start thinking, oh, this guy's just too good. He's too dominant. They want to see you in a tough fight. They want to see you in a, you know, in a dangerous fight. And a Beterbiev might be that. Beterbiev might be that fight. But it's just like I said, I think Benavidez is a good fight. I think Benavidez is a very good fight. I personally think Canelo beats Benavidez. But again, you know, that's up to Canelo then. Once Canelo becomes undisputed, I think he's achieved his goal, right, of being an undisputed champion, the first Mexican. Oh, well, having said that, Jose Ramirez has got an opportunity, if he wins this week, of becoming undisputed. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how all of this develops. But I don't know. I'm intrigued to see how all of this plays out, if you see what I mean. I'm very intrigued. But yeah, I think Canelo will fight Plant next because that's what he wants to do. And then I think you may see Canelo then pick between a Benavidez, Charlo and Andrade. I think that's going to be the three fights the public probably want him. Or if he jumps up and fights Beterbiev, then I don't think anyone can blame him for not fighting Benavidez, Charlo or Andrade. I don't think anyone can then say, well, you know, he's gone up and fought Beterbiev. There will be some people, if he beats Beterbiev, they'll say, well, Beterbiev was old. But really, the true boxing fans will know that Beterbiev, for me, beats Charlo, beats Andrade, and beats Benavidez. So, to be perfectly honest, I don't think anyone can knock that move. Or Bivol, because Bivol is also a very young champion, and he's a light heavyweight as well. He's a light heavyweight champion. So, for me, I think Benavidez is a good fight with Canelo, but I just think, I just think right now Benavidez is in the Who Needs Me club, and why would Canelo won't gonna fight Benavidez? He's gonna fight Plant first, and then after that, it's gonna be interesting to see what Canelo does, because let's not forget, I'm not even talked about Golovkin. Golovkin is a fight that Canelo might be interested in. Remember, that fight would be huge financially for Canelo, so that might be a fight he looks for. He may go for a Golovkin fight after he beats Plant. And no one's going to be complaining about that fight either. So, like I said, Canelo's got options, man. Canelo's got a lot of options. He may even decide to fight Golovkin, and we haven't even talked about that after he beats Plant, which obviously would make him more money than any other of those fights. But I would prefer him to fight Benavidez, Charlo or Andrade, because it's something different. We've already seen the Golovkin fight twice, and I don't know whether I want to see him fight Golovkin again for the third time. But I wouldn't mind it. I'd watch it, but I would love to see him fight someone different. And I'm pretty sure the public might as well. But I just think that I think the Golovkin might be the favorite to get the fight out of all of those, because like I said, money talks, and financially that fight would be a lot bigger than those other three fights. So yeah, leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think. Do you think Benavidez could cause him a problem? I know Benavidez is saying that he feels his power could hurt Canelo. I don't think Benavidez punches that hard that his power is going to give Canelo trouble. He's a big guy and he's a tall guy, but then that also means a bigger target, a bigger surface, bigger area for Canelo to land shots on, bigger body to land shots on. So, yeah, the size can be an advantage, but the size can be a disadvantage as well, especially if Benavidez can't hurt Canelo. And like I said, defensively, Benavidez is open. And Canelo's a very good counterpuncher. So, yeah, leave your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.